Okay, everyone. Welcome back. I wanted to talk to you about something that I have been following um, pretty closely, been pretty interested in over the last month or so. And a couple episodes ago, I did a take one on this where I talked about ESPN Flagship. That's the new streaming service that's being launched in fall 2025. And this is, by some indications or the indications I've seen, could be everything you would get from ESPN and on a cable package, you would be able to get through this streaming service. Now, the other thing that's been talked about with this a lot is the cost, and they haven't released an official cost for it, or they haven't released numbers for it, figures for it, but um, it could the estimations I've seen are anywhere from, low end 35, 40 to upwards to 50, maybe even $60 a month, which is a really high cost. It's a really high barrier to entry for a lot of people that may want this service and may otherwise use this service. And it's not clear. They haven't said what's going to happen with ESPN Plus. There's a lot of things that are on ESPN Plus. Are they also going to be in with this ESPN flagship service? So I've been really interested in this and been talking about it a lot in classes as well. And over the last few weeks, there have been some additional things that have come out that have sparked my interest, and today I finally saw something that made me just want to sit down and actually record this because it's something that I've been thinking for a while. So first, we had news that Major League Baseball and ESPN are ending their relationship, their more than 30-year or 40-year relationship, um, where ESPN had the rights to show Sunday Night Baseball, the Home Run Derby, the All-Star Game. Um, and that Major League Baseball didn't feel like they were getting enough value from the ESPN deal anymore. And they didn't want to renegotiate it. ESPN wanted to offer a lower rate for that. So Major League Baseball said they're leaving. They're not going to be that current partnership is over after the 2025 season. And I, from the very beginning, thought this could be a negotiating tactic, excuse me, for Major League Baseball to negotiate with ESPN through Disney via ESPN to get more of their services or more of their content on this new service, on this flagship service as it's being reported. So that's one side of the story, or that's one thing to hold on to. Then we have you'll see the logo behind me, FanDuel Sports Network. There are reports that there's negotiations are building between ESPN to include FanDuel Sports Network content on this ESPN flagship service. Again, because of the expected cost of this ESPN flagship service, they're really needing to get as much content on there as possible. And so working with other companies to have companies content on there so that it really can be a one-stop or close to one-stop sports network and sports service that you could get through this flagship network. So those negotiations are in the works, apparently heating up. So that's another side of the story. A third one, if you look over my shoulder, you'll see NFL media. A week and a half ago, news came out that there is building negotiations with NFL Network to possibly be included on ESPN flagship. And not just included, but actually ESPN own part of or not all of NFL media. Not network, sorry. NFL media. So these are the pre-recorded games, or I should say the library of recorded games. It would give flagship the opportunity, the ability to show older games, to show historical games. It also would give ESPN and Disney the ability to maintain their Fun Day football games on Disney Plus, ESPN Plus streaming services. And excuse me, ideally moving forward, one would expect on ESPN flagship service as well. Because if you go on Disney Plus, it's hard to find Fun Day Football for Toy Story and Simpsons Fun Day Football because that content is the game content is owned by NFL media. Disney through ESPN and Disney Plus and using their advanced technology created an alternate broadcast of those games. However, because the game itself and the content itself is owned by NFL media, those Fun Day Football, those alternate broadcasts, can't be available on Disney Plus in perpetuity because they don't own the rights to those. If a deal with NFL media worked out where ESPN Flagship had the ability to show older NFL content, you would have the ability to get those back as well. And now a message from Cody's Inner Dialogue.
Hey, Cody.
Yeah, what's going on, Inner Dialogue?
I heard Stan from the solo show is playing a password game.
Yeah, he's playing Password. Sounds pretty fun. I've listened to a couple.
Yeah. He gave me an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
I think you and I should play password.
You and I should play Password. How's that gonna work?
Well, I'll give you clues and you try to guess the password. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but it's usually not just like two people. I mean, especially like you and I. Won't we already know the password?
Just give it a try.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
All right. Cover your ears, Cody, so you can't hear. Everyone else, the password is popcorn. Okay, Cody, we're ready.
Okay.
The first clue is churro.
Churro. Okay, let's see.
Hey, you're not supposed to talk. You're just supposed to say the word.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Treat.
Okay. Remember churro and treat. The next hint is parks.
Dole Whip?
No, it's not Dole Whip. It was popcorn.
How am I supposed to get popcorn from that? You said churro and parks. And you know what? Churro's sweet. Popcorn is salty. They don't even match. How am I supposed to get that?
You're supposed to get it. You're supposed to get it because churro's a treat. Popcorn's a treat that you have in parks. I mean, I can't believe you.
You know what? Maybe we're just not good at this game.
Obviously, we're never going to be invited on a password show. Thanks a lot, Cody.
Yeah, Inner Dialogue. It's my fault for sure. If anybody wants to listen to people play an actually good game of Password, listen to the solo show, episodes number 184, 185, and 186. That's upcoming. They're a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy them. And now, back to our show. And then if you look at the other MLB.TV logo behind me, this is the most recent news, and this is the one that kind of brings us back to where I first started. That when ESPN and Major League Baseball announced they were no longer going to have a broadcast relationship after the 2025 season, I thought, hey, Major League Baseball wants to negotiate a bigger contract with Disney via ESPN for ESPN Flagship. And because of FanDuel Sports Network owning local sports media rights, ESPN Flagship is already going to be able to feature some local sports teams. Like in the NBA, I live in the Memphis area. So the Memphis Grizzlies are actually on FanDuel Sports Network. So that if this deal with FanDuel Sports Network goes through, that would be able to be available on ESPN Flagship service, one would expect. Same thing in baseball, like the Los Angeles Angels, which is where in Anaheim, which is where Disneyland is. Their home games are shown on FanDuel Sports Network. So you would expect that could be available on ESPN Flagship as well, along with the Anaheim Ducks and the NHL and a select number of other teams. MLB.TV is the out of market service that fans can purchase to watch any out of market game that's not in an area that's blacked out. So for me, that includes games for the St. Louis Cardinals, Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds. Those games, because they're available in my local market, I can't watch those on MLB.TV, but I can watch any other games. I can watch the Los Angeles Angels. I can watch the Los Angeles Dodgers, Colorado Rockies. I like watching them. I watch the Houston Astros sometime. And so a report came out today that Major League Baseball is looking at negotiating with different television services and streaming services to include MLB.TV in those streaming services, and possibly so that they would have the ability to have those games available on different streaming services. And so there are different options, the announcement was made that ESPN and Major League Baseball are no longer going to have this relationship after 2025. Fox showed interest. Fox is still, they're still talking about starting a streaming network of their own that would feature their popular like Fox News business brand, television brand, movie brand, and then sports. Those are the major things. The sports brand from Fox is one of the major things from the sports network, from the Fox Corporation. Um, and when that happened, I remember thinking, is this also a negotiating ploy, or a ploy to negotiate more with Disney via ESPN to have that Fox content on ESPN Flagship? Because one major thing that ESPN Flagship is missing right now is a lot of NFL content, which Fox Corporation owns the media rights to. So they could be part of a negotiation to have that content available on this flagship service as well. Again, we're going back to where everything, ideally from the Walt Disney Company perspective, everything is available on this ESPN flagship service, especially to justify the cost for a lot of people. So this Major League MLB.TV news. Um, Fox showed interest in Major League Baseball. Apple TV Plus showed interest in Major League Baseball. Amazon Prime showed interest in Major League Baseball. However, the news story today is that uh, someone who is reporting about this agrees with me. David Satin released today that Major League Baseball has shopped MLB.TV to networks and streaming services. And it could be kind of sweetening the pot for the league and sweetening the pot for these streaming services. However, Satin goes on to say, in his view, Major League Baseball, the best partner for Major League Baseball and MLB.TV is the distribution with ESPN, which comes back to what I originally thought and slash hoped could be in the works when this idea that ESPN and Major League Baseball were no longer going to have this media rights relationship after this season, is that MLB.TV is available on the ESPN flagship service. Now, whatever deal ends up happening, I would expect that people could still possibly purchase MLB.TV through Major League Baseball. That's how I do it. But whatever network it's available on, you might be able to access it through there, and you would also be able to purchase access to it through that streaming network. At this point, I think, in my view, all of these things are coming together to show that the Walt Disney Company is very, very serious about getting as much content on ESPN Flagship as they possibly can. Because they are paying a lot of money for media rights. This is a way to keep from having to pass a lot of the cost from those media rights onto streaming service customers that don't care about sports. So people who might be a Disney Plus Hulu subscriber, they have the Disney Plus bundle. Um, they don't necessarily care about sports. They don't want to pay for the media rights that ESPN and the Walt Disney Company via ESPN are having to pay these leagues. This would be a way to kind of separate that information and separate that cost as well. This is something that's really, really exciting to me. It's really interesting to me. I want to, and I'm going to keep following it. Again, if you want to see some of the news that I see on a daily basis, you can subscribe to streamable.com. They send out a daily email with news about different negotiations going on with streaming services, but also what are some of the best streaming service deals, how to get some of the best streaming service deals, and things like that. It's a really, really fun thing to have to be able to keep up on news if this is something that is of interest to you. So, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.